I love this three-dimensional foam heart that I found at Dollar Tree. Didn't know exactly what I was going to do with it, but as you can see, I brought it home and using a kitchen knife, I'm going to chop it in half. I'm using that same kitchen knife to flatten out the back side to give me a nice smooth surface. Next, I'm going to cut down a piece of fabric. This came in a pack of 5 different patterns from Walmart, and I'll link that for you down below. And I'm just coating this round heart with Aleene's tacky glue. With my fabric cut down a bit, I'm going to cover this entire front part of the heart. I'm just taking extra care to make sure that the edges are glued down, and then I'm going to trim off the excess. And once I have that smoothed out, I'll set it to the side while we continue working. I'm going to use a couple of different heart-shaped embellishments that I picked up in different packs from the Dollar Tree. You'll see me using these throughout the video so that I can create sort of a collection so that you can decorate one room and feel like it's complete and matchy-matchy. You may also notice that I'm using a couple of different types of glue in these projects, and that's just because I have close to empty bottles of different types and I'm anxious to use them up and make space for new. Just know that you can complete these projects with almost any type of glue that you have in your stash. If you enjoy projects with different types of media and layers to make them look high-end, then stick around because that's exactly what this video is about. A majority of the products used are from the Dollar Tree, but if I use something that's not from there, I'll mention it and then I'll link it down below in the description for you. This crocheted ribbon is the perfect way to finish the edges of our heart. I'm going to repeat these steps with the second half of the heart using different fabric and different edging. I have the jute tassel ribbon that I used to edge this piece linked in the description below. Later, we'll attach these hearts to this long board that I had in my stash from Dollar Tree. I believe I picked this up last summer, and this is an item that you can frequently find there, so I feel confident that you can find it if you don't already have it. If you've been with me for a little while, you'll know that I like to use untraditional items to craft with. This heat transfer with the little mouse and heart is so adorable. It's designed to go on a t-shirt, and I thought that I would put it on the bottom of this board and actually design the entire project around this heat transfer. This mouse is so precious, and when you see the final reveal of this project, you'll probably want one for yourself. I'm taping the transfer down to ensure it doesn't slide around on me, and using the low setting on my craft iron with no water inside, no steam. And then let the transfer cool for about 15 seconds before I remove the protective film. Before I go any further, I'm going to protect the entire surface of my project with some Mod Podge, just giving it a nice even coat and allowing it to dry. And replacing the jute hanger with a red ribbon hanger. Now later in the video, I'll remove this ribbon and add another finishing touch, but you'll see that later. I'm so excited to get the hearts added on, so I'm going to do that next by just adding a little bit of hot glue here, and the intent is to offset the hearts a bit from one another to give it a little more interest. What I'm doing here by flipping it over and adding the hot glue is just trying to force these little individual ribbon heart pieces to stand up on their own. So I'm pulling them forward and adding glue, and that kind of adds sort of a barrier there that prevents it from falling back. And later off camera, I will cover this exposed foam with just some simple black felt. And to make these larger hearts look like balloons that this mouse is also carrying, I'm just penciling in a few balloon strand lines and then going back in with a Sharpie to color them in. Because I have so much going on at the top, I wanted to add another element at the bottom to balance things out. I simply cut another piece of the fabric used in one of the hearts and tied it in a knot in the middle and then dovetailed the ends. And then I'm using just another small piece of fabric to help attach it to the bottom of the sign. I don't want to glue it directly to the front of the sign because that's going to cover up the cute little legs of my mouse. Here's where I go back up to the top to work again on the ribbon hanger. I wanted to add something to the top so I didn't have just a little red knot tied. It just looked cheap to me, so I'm adding one of these small wood hearts from Dollar Tree that has the pin size hole in the center. And that's gonna kind of hopefully take away from the fact that there's a knot there. Here's the final reveal of our cutie mouse holding heart-shaped balloons. And here I just wanted to show you what the back looked like after I added the black felt, so we have no area unprotected. If you're new here, my name is Melissa, and if you like this content, give me a like, comment down below. These things let YouTube know that you've enjoyed the video, and they will then show it to all the other crafters of the world. I love the crafting community here on YouTube, and if it weren't for the likes, the shares, the comments, and the subscriptions, I really believe that the options to see videos like this would be very limited. I recently thrifted this white ceramic vase, and I'm mixing together some red and burgundy paint to create a fuchsia color. By painting this onto the surface and wiping it back, it will bring out the natural veining or cracks of the ceramic and looks just beautiful. I go into my rice paper collection and start to pull out designs that have fuchsia and pinks or reds in them. And you'll see that these are more toward the spring theme, which is just perfect because we're coming up on spring. But I think that this is a vase that would be able to sit out all year long. And when we're done with this, you'll see that it makes a great addition to any home. It just adds a little flair of romance to your space. And this is definitely something that you'll be able to give away as a gift. Over the next few minutes, you'll see me just pulling smaller pieces from the rice paper to create the scene that I'm looking for. As I go, I'm adding generous amounts of Mod Podge to cover the top and seal it in nicely. By adding several generous coats of Mod Podge, this image begins to look like an inlay. I want this vase to be beautiful from all sides, so I'm going to start at about 2/3 of the way down, piecing together more of my rice paper to give me a beautiful floral strip all the way around the remaining sides of the vase. And I'll repeat the steps of adding multiple layers of Mod Podge to seal the design and make it look like it was painted onto the vase. I am definitely no florist, but I did my best to put together a small arrangement of fuchsia colored butterfly bush stems and yellow roses from the Dollar Tree. These butterfly bushes I thrifted, so I'm not quite sure where you can get them, but gosh, they are so beautiful. And I have a few more that I intend to use maybe in a spring wreath later. To make everything stand up, I'll slide the stems inside a piece of pool noodle, and then using a few cut-off strips of jute ribbon, I'll wrap that around the pool noodle to hide it. And then I want to let some of this peek out, so I'm going to position it as such. To tie this together with the theme of the other projects in this video, I'm going to take a skewer out of the kitchen and hot glue on a few of these pink and red hearts from the Dollar Tree, as well as jute rope detail. I love detail. You can leave this part off if you like, but ultimately I want something cutesy that will peek out of the center of our arrangement and draw the eye in. And here's our final reveal. I did add in a few stems of dried baby's breath. I probably should add it a little bit more. And I also added one of those ribbon hearts to the jute that's sticking out, the jute ribbon. You'll see it there as I spin this around. And look at that detail that we brought out with the paint. Oh, it's just breathtaking. It's a natural detail, a subtle detail that you don't see in crafts every day. What do you think about that? Is that something you would have done? Do you like that look? Do you think it looks messy? I'm curious to know. This next project is primarily Dollar Tree items again, but I have this Hugs and Kisses or XOXO sign from Dollar Tree, as well as one of these sheets of Pearlistic adhesive panels, for lack of a better term. I'm going to cut strips down from this sheet of pearlistic beads and stick them to the X's only. So this is a bit of puzzle work. You're going to piece it together until you have the entire X covered, and you'll do that twice, once for each X. Once that's complete, I go in with 2 coats of red paint to cover the entire piece. With the paint dry, this piece looks already so adorable, and I'm getting a vision here as to what it's going to look like when it's complete. But I do decide that it needs a little something more, and off camera, not intentionally off camera, I did just layer up 2 different sizes of small wood hearts. I did not get these hearts at Dollar Tree. I'll link them down below for you, but you can really use any small embellishment on the O's that you would like, if you would like. So I've added all of this detail to the sign, and now I want to make it pop a bit. So I'll take a little bit of the same color red, mix it with white, and just lightly brush over the hearts and the pearlistic beads. And I'm going to do this for the entire piece. A round edge paintbrush is going to be the best choice when painting detail. I'll set this aside to completely dry and start the second part of the project. I'm going to take another piece of fabric from the bundle that I purchased at Walmart and cover this wood blank from Dollar Tree. This raffia paper ribbon is a great choice to cover the raw edge where the fabric meets the wood. I want the XOXO to be 3-dimensional, so I'm hot gluing on some of these smaller Dollar Tree hearts to the back of the sign to make it look like it's floating over top of the frame. And we're almost there. We are just about done with this one. I appreciate you so much for hanging in there with me. I'm going to take just a few of these random rose heads that I have in my stash, again linked down below for you, and add them to the right side of the frame in a grouping of 3. And now I step back, look at it, think I'm done, but realize that we need a little contrast between the roses and the background. So I'll take a little bit more of this ribbon that we've used in previous projects today and just wrap it around the roses, and it'll look like this is something that they are kind of bundled up in. And I really like the way this looks. Here's the final reveal, and I really hope that this inspires you to use different media in your projects. We have wood, we have fabric, we have those pearl beads, roses, ribbon. There's really just a lot going on here, and it all comes together so beautifully. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one. And here's a look back at what we created today. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. Part 2 of the Valentine DIYs will be available in just a few days. Following that, I'll create videos with projects that are not season specific, and I have some great plans for those. So I'll see you next time. Bye for now.